19 Arabs with Boxcutters by Andy Nowicki. Introduction. 20 Years of Lies. If I could sum up in one sentence what I have learned over the last 20 years, since that fateful few hours when the events of what history has titled 9/11 unfolded, it would be this. Very little of what is proffered as news corresponds with the veracity of actual events. By news, I mean anything from any medium that advertises itself as such, or any venue which arrogates to itself such a designation. I have thus grown not merely avoidant, but positively antipathic towards news outlets. To clarify, it may be that the facts can be gleaned from a news account, though at the same time, maybe not. But if such an admission can be allowed, it is only with this crucial caveat in mind. Even actual facts are suspect when presented in the context of a general effort to obfuscate or propagandize, rather than tell the plain, unvarnished, unvanquished truth. It is difficult for some to comprehend the extraordinary degree of media mendacity on display. Many simply cannot fathom the extent to which complete and total lies, or at best, certain truths marshaled in the service of higher-level lies, are used to further what is commonly called an agenda or a narrative. They remain unaware of the conglomerate of closely intersecting networks which work in tandem to promote utterly fabricated stories while completely ignoring totally authentic ones. And from this pastiche of active and aggressive dishonesty, that is, actual harassment and persecution of whistleblowers and truth-tellers, together with the more common strategy of mendacity by omission, wherein whistleblowers and truth-tellers are simply dismissed or treated as if they didn't exist, a rhetoric of relentless deceit predominates. The issue of media mendacity is a broad and far-reaching topic, and the full effect of its repellent, putrescent cultural influence far exceeds the scope of this inquiry. I have elsewhere delved into this topic in greater detail, particularly when it comes to the so-called debunkings of legitimate allegations on the skimpiest of pretexts, for obvious propagandistic purposes which have nothing whatsoever to do with truth, and everything to do with intentional obfuscation. These efforts should be easily seen through, as debunkings, quote-unquote, are very often remarkably threadbare and incredibly substance-free, consisting mostly of indulgences in ad hominem invective. Yet the fact that they are broadcast by venues we have been trained to view as, quote, credible, causes many to be convinced that they are trustworthy and ought to be believed, displaying the extent to which a sort of hypnotic spell has been cast upon the mind of much of the population. This is an excerpt from the first part of my new work, 19 Arabs with Boxcutters, which is now available to be read online at 19arabs.blogspot.com.